Breaking news in college basketball. Texas has fired Coach Chris Beard with cause, according to our Matt Norlander. Beard facing a felony domestic violence charge following his arrest last month in an incident involving his fiancée. He was in just his second season in Austin, coming over from Texas Tech, where he led the Red Raiders to the national championship game in 2019. Want to bring in Matt Norlander now on the phone. Matt off today, but this certainly major breaking news in college basketball. Matt, thanks for jumping on with us. How did Texas reach this conclusion that they were able to fire Chris Beard with cause?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Obviously a major story, and behind the scenes, this had been cresting for about 24 hours. I've been in contact with numerous sources that had indicated that it was going to go this way here on Thursday. And so we are here, fired with cause on a 7-year deal that was worth $35 million through 2028. That is no more. I had two sources tell me that this issue became more urgent as this week moved along. Also had a source tell me that this decision went well above the head of athletic director Chris Del Conte, and that there were numerous loud voices connected to the university and the boosters that were tired of waiting around. Was also told by a source previously that when Beard's fiancée released a statement through her lawyer 2 days before Christmas that recanted her statement to the police and attempted to clarify, again through her lawyer, that Beard did not strangle her. His fiancée now says that she told police that night that did not happen. As it pertains to what we're talking about here today, I was told that people around Texas were waiting to see if the recanting of that statement would lead to the district attorney's office in dropping the third-degree felony charge against Beard. That, as we speak, still has not happened. And the fact that it did not happen certainly continued to exacerbate this situation. And it was just a matter of time. In speaking to sources around that university and that program, there was a sense of inevitability about this. It was just a matter of how long it was going to take. And while in the initial days after this first happened and Beard was arrested, there was, or at least there were some people that were wondering if there was any kind of change, if it might be a season-long suspension. The reality for weeks now has been this has been an expected outcome. And so we are here, and Beard is out of a job. And certainly this marks one of the fastest rise and falls of a college coach we have seen at this level in decades, frankly. Beard took Texas Tech to a national championship game in 2019, obviously was hired to humongous fanfare at Texas less than 2 years ago, and now with the serious matter of domestic violence as the backdrop to this, Texas has decided to make the move. Beard is out. Rodney Terry will remain the interim coach of the Longhorns, who have been inside the top 10 of the poll, oh, by the way, the AP poll, for the majority of this season.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of lost in all this, because certainly the biggest part of this is this domestic violence, and it's terrible. And that's why this coach has lost his job, and that's why he's probably going to have a really tough time finding another job. We'll let the law run its course on this, but for Texas, the basketball team in particular, Rodney Terry has been the interim head coach and is going to remain the head coach for the rest of this season. How have the Longhorns done? How have they held up now that we've been, 4 weeks into this thing now without Chris Beard?
I mean, they've done a solid job, all things considered, as a team. I have to mention that, at Texas, when Beard was running the program, in terms of the team specifically with the roster, there is a player, Arterio Morris, a freshman on the team, who previously had a charge against him earlier in last summer. That charge was subsequently dropped, but when this matter with Beard came up, it re-stoked those flames, because frankly there had been some discussion in college basketball circles about what exactly was happening with this Texas program, and was it headed in the right direction? Was the temperature in the room what it should be? For the players that obviously have nothing to do with this, they've handled it pretty well. And Rodney Terry is a coach that has experience running a team previously. He could have been a head coach somewhere else, but opted to join Beard's staff and be the associate head coach, the lead assistant on the bench, and he's certainly capable of doing it. But yes, this does happen in the midst of Texas being one of the best teams in the best conference in college basketball this season there. We'll see how it impacts that team going forward or not. We will wait and see on that. But this does remain to be a sticky situation, to be certain. There's no doubt about that, just in terms of you fire him, very noisy. Texas is going to say it's not going to pay him another dime. We will await and see whether or not Chris Beard and his representatives ultimately try and bring litigation to this afterward. But, yeah, here we are. It took almost a month since he was put in handcuffs. And, again, in speaking to sources this week, the intensity around the situation really started to increase to the point where a move simply had to be made, and made it was on Thursday.
December 12th, Chris Beard was arrested for domestic violence, and now today, January the 5th, he is fired with cause, according to our Matt Norlander. You can hear much more from him on the Eye on College Basketball podcast. An extremely large story in college hoops. This was the coaching hire ahead of last season, with Texas poaching him from Texas Tech. And now, not even a year and a half into his tenure, Chris Beard is done.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.